Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over this brace right here from SB Tactical. It's the SB Tactical PDW brace, and it's got a lot going for it for sure. So basically ships as one assembly. You don't need to run fancy bolt carrier groups. You don't need to run fancy aftermarket buffers. It will take the standard mil-spec BCG. It'll take the standard mil-spec buffer tube and spring, and many other things. But this here is a pretty simple product that I really like. This review shouldn't be too long outside of the shooting portions because it's simple, like I said, but we're going to cover it here after the dogs take a look at it. Moving on to the details of the brace, we basically have three main components to it. So we have this huge chunk of aluminum right here up front. Then we have our buffer tube, which also has the castle nut on there. And then we have the actual extendable piece here, which is composed of these two bars. And then the end here, which is a rubber type of configuration. It's adjustable if you want to run your arm through it. And do so you can, and tighten it down to your forearm, which of course is what the braces were originally intended for. However, you know, with the ATF rulings now, you can occasionally accidentally fire from your shoulder without fear of prosecution. So that is basically the setup there. One thing I recommend is when you do the install, Loctite this thing down with some blue or purple Loctite at a minimum, simply because mine never came loose because I did that from the start. But like any castle nut, if you can't stake it, I do recommend Loctiting it down. Here we have it in the fully extended position. You can see the rubber piece there is still going over the buffer tube, so you don't have to worry about it sort of bending down or anything like that. That certainly is good, and it's going to give you about 10 inches from the rear of the receiver, which is nice as well for length of pull for a brace. So for that, it's certainly good. It has three different positions, and the way you adjust it is by this little tab here. There's also one on the other side. You just pinch them together, and that will relieve the tension. I should note there, when we're focused in that area, we also have a QD end plate here, so you can attach your QD slings however you like. It's ambidextrous. You can come underneath the rifle, or the pistol rather, or you can come over the buffer tube if you want it that way. Really, it's user adjustable in that regard, and the adjustments are much easier if I'm not actually under a camera, just trying to sort of tap it into place there. So that is the next position down. You can see there the end of the buffer tube is right there, and then in the fully collapsed position again, trust me, it's much easier in real life. There you go. That is how it is. I'm just trying not to hit my camera. That's how it comes down in terms of the fully collapsed position. Now there's one sort of negative there for some folks, is that the safety there has that bar over it. It's totally still usable, as you can see there, but you will feel it on your thumb there when you go to actuate that safety. Throughout this video, you guys have seen this ran here on my Guard 9mm pistol, but it will work the exact same way on any AR-15 chambered in 5.56, 300 blackout, or any of the other myriad of calibers that ARs are chambered in these days. So their downside of it, in terms of covering that safety lever a little bit, is one thing to think about. There's a couple others to sort of weigh in when you're making your decision here on which brace you want to get. So this one here is also relatively expensive. If you look around, you're going to see them basically from $220 to $250. So for the brace, that's relatively expensive compared to what's out there. Now, again, it does come with the buffer tube, so that certainly is kind of a cost-saving measure rather versus some of the other ones out there. And it is a little bit heavy. This one here weighed in just over 18 ounces on my scale, the whole assembly. So compared to, like, for instance, the CAC brace, it's a lot heavier. Now, if you're going to have weight on a rifle or pistol, you want it in the back towards the rear. It'll just balance better. So if you're going to have the weight, that is the best place to have it. So kind of a pro and a con there, depending on really what you're looking for in terms of the overall package. But this one here is my favorite brace I've tried to date for AR-15 style pistols. The adjustability is awesome. The wideness here of the rubber pad is very comfortable. If you're going to have any sort of like heavier recoiling calibers, this is one I would definitely take a look at because it spreads the recoil out across a larger area than most braces do, and it just is much more comfortable in that regard. But all in all, I really like it. It comes in black like we have it here. It also comes in a tan or FDE model. And of course, as always, guys, there'll be links down below in the video description for you guys to pick one of these up should you choose to do so. So that's really it. I like it. I'm a fan. If you guys have any questions that we didn't cover, you can always post those down below in the comment section. You can also post those over at my Facebook page as always. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet and like what you saw here, please go ahead and hit that button, and we'll see you guys in the next video.